Good morning, Autoshite. So, I've been asked to do a quick video showing how my Android Auto headset works. The car came with a CD player, and I think CDs in a car are a terrible idea. They just get scratched and they don't work, and you've got to take your eyes off the road after 45 minutes to change them over. So I really just wanted something built in that would have USB for as much music as I want without needing to change CDs over, and a built-in sat-nav so that I wouldn't have to always clip my phone onto the windscreen, which is a terrible thing and never works and it falls off. So I spent a fair bit of money on this. It was £600 fitted, but I am intending to keep this car for a long time, so it is something that will make the car really usable for me. Well worth getting it done professionally. If I'd done it myself, nothing would work right and I'd have broken lots of plastic trim. So here we go, there's the unit. It's a Kenwood unit. The model name is a very long list of letters and numbers, which I'll put in the text somewhere. Nice professional installation there. It looks like it's always been there. I've also got a DAB aerial stuck up in the corner there. Microphone there so that I can use my phone hands-free. I don't do that very often, but it's a nice to have. It links with the steering wheel controls, so I've got, I can use these buttons for next and last track, and I can use these buttons for the phone and for the volume. So if we turn the ignition on and wait for it to start up, of course, modern technology, it's a small computer rather than anything else, so it does take a little bit longer to start up than your old cassette CD unit would have done. We've just got to wait 10 seconds or so for this to start up. This is one of my minor irritations, actually. When you turn the engine on, it cuts the power for half a second. That's always happened, but in this case, it's enough to stop it from working. So we have to wait for it to go through that again. So I tend to start the engine before getting the sat-nav on. Now, as it stands on its own, it's quite a basic unit in one way. It's just a DAB radio. It's got a USB input, as we can see from the little icon here. That's a picture of a USB stick. It's FM radio as well, although I'm a Radio 6 fan, so I don't listen to FM very often. There we are. It's got loads of features, loads of things you can do in the settings, but I'm not going to go all the way through it because it is really just a radio USB. It's what they call neckless now. There's no CD player, which is fine by me. I wouldn't want one in a car anyway. The people who installed it put the USB. You can see there isn't a USB on the front there. It's comes out the back of the unit. And what the installers have done, they did ask me this. They asked me where I wanted it. They've put the cable through into it, and that's where the USB now goes. So as far as Android Auto goes, the magic doesn't happen until you plug the phone in, which we'll do now. So there we go, I've plugged my phone into that little USB cable in the old drinks holder. Let's just put that there so that you can see the radio screen. It's very professional, I know. So what we have now is the button in the middle there was blank before. Now that the phone's plugged in, I've got the option for Android Auto. And this takes us to the Android Auto screen. So now my phone is doing all the work. This all happens in the phone and it's just projecting itself onto the screen. So it's come up to the home screen, which shows my music player. I'm using Google Music at the moment, but we'll go through that in a second. Let's go left to right along these screens. So there's my navigation screen, and you can use whichever app you like. I've got Google Maps on my phone, or I've got Waze. Waze is my preferred one, but it's entirely down to personal preference. And what I can do now is, it's literally just the way that Waze works. I can search for where I want to go on the screen here. Where should we go? Let's go to Brighton. There we go. I've been to the Asda petrol station in Brighton recently, so that's come up as one of my search terms. Again, it's the phone doing the work, and it's going to choose to embarrass me now by being really slow. This is the one issue, of course. It's only going to work properly when you've got a decent data connection. We're on my drive outside my house, so it's linked to my Wi-Fi, but through a couple of walls, so it's not going to work terribly well here. It would probably work better if I drove away a little bit and got the 4G signal, but that's fine. Very few places now that you can't get a decent 4G signal in the UK. We can go along to the phone screen here. There we go. It's now just a car phone. It's brought up the recent numbers, but I can access dial pad, all my favourites. That takes us back to the home screen. It's loaded up a little bit more now. It's shown some of the stuff that lives on my on the front screen of my phone. Here's the music. It's defaulted to the last one I used, which was Google Play Music. Now I really like this because I've got all of my stuff backed up on Google Music. So I've got a shelf of a couple of hundred CDs in the house. Whenever I buy a CD, it gets ripped to the computer and uploaded to Google Music. So I've got access to absolutely everything. And that to me is wonderful. You don't have to have a box of cassettes in your car anymore. That used to really annoy me, you know, even before this was invented. It was always a hassle carrying around your music collection with you. The other option, of course, is I could just plug a USB stick into it and have hours and hours of music on there, but it's really nice that I've got access to everything. You don't have to use Google Play Music, of course. That's all the music players that I've got installed on my phone. I've got the iPlayer radio app because I like the Kitchen Cabinet podcast on Radio 4, so we can listen to that if we want to. It's deleted the download now. There we are, I've got podcast added, I've got a TuneIn radio app, anything you want. Now of course, doing it this way, using Google Play Music, it is downloading the music all the time as it plays it. So that is using up the data on my phone. However, of course data's dirt cheap these days. I get 8 gig for £10 a month and I've not ever come near it. If I've done loads and loads of driving, I might use a bit over half of that. That's a PlusNet. Loads of other providers are available. If you do a bit of searching, you might even find something cheaper. It needs a data connection to work, of course, but it does seem to pre-download stuff. I did a long journey yesterday. I went through the Rotherhithe tunnel and I went through the Blackwall tunnel, and the music didn't stop playing at all. There was traffic in both, so it was a fairly long time underground out of data, and the music didn't stop at all. It downloads enough that will still work. Last button over here is a sort of settings thing. Gets you out of there and back to the radio. If you don't want to use your data again, you can listen to DAB. You can listen to the DAB radio and have that running, and also go into the Android Auto app and have your navigation running and still have the DAB music playing over the top. It all sort of works very, very seamlessly. All in all, very nice system. It was a lot of money, but I'm really, really happy with it. It future-proofs the car. I've got navigation now that won't ever need to be updated because it all comes from Google Maps. I can listen to all my music. If I buy new music, I can just upload it to Google Play in the house, and it's available to me in the car. Absolutely love it. Really, really nice unit. Only issues are, of course, it uses up your data. Again, not so much of a problem now that data's so cheap. While the phone's plugged in down here, it is charging, but it's only got 1.5 amps. So with my phone, I find that the battery is very, very slowly discharging all the time. That shouldn't happen. 1.5 amps should be enough to keep it stable. So I think that's probably just the age of my phone battery rather than anything else. It's a few years old now. I'm not intending to replace it, but we'll see what happens when I do. I hope that was a little bit interesting. Before I go, let's just have another try at getting something into the navigation just so you can see that working. Let's go to London instead of Brighton. There we go. I've been to Bromley recently, so let's see if that works. No, it's going to embarrass me again, which is a great shame. Never mind, hope you enjoy the video, hope that's useful to you. Trust me, the navigation does normally work very, very well. It's probably just because it's linked to my Wi-Fi in the house through 2 brick walls. I hope this was useful to you.